this will be part 1 of What If Deku was, Miles Morales. And so, we'll skip to about when Deku was we'll skip to when Deku was 13. And Spider-Man is so Peter Parker is alive in this universe, and he exists in this universe. Because I'm going to say that he was in Japan for, a trip or something. And Deku, he still looks the same, except for his hair is black. His hair is white, and he basically looks like Virgil. Here, give me a sec, I'll get a picture. There, so his hair basically looks like that. But, So, Deku was 13, and, darn it, sorry. Okay, but, white hair, and, anywho, so, I'm going to say that this is when, he's fighting the Sinister Six in the Spider-Man PS4 game. This is when that takes place, when Deku was 13. And so, in the midst of all this, as we all know, spider. And so, the spider bites Deku, and Deku just swats it off, thinks nothing of it. And so, time skip, 2 days later, Deku wakes up, and he's emitting enough electricity to power the whole city of Japan for a good 3,000 years. Seriously, he's just, discharging it continuously. And, he finds that he's toned, Goku level toned. And, he's still a tech genius and stuff like that. Well, I will say that he did have a quirk, I'm going to say that he had 3 quirks. One of them is super intelligence. The other is a power multiplier quirk. So it's basically like Super Saiyan. And right now it's at times 30. And the third one is a strength quirk. And so, he wasn't that toned to begin with. He was, when he was standing on the trash at Diego Beach at the end of the 10-month time skip in the actual anime. So, he was like that. And now, Deku is, Season 4 Deku plus, a little more muscle. So, he's, Goku built, I'd say. No, he's Super Saiyan God Goku built. It's weird describing how he's built. Basically, he's muscular, but he's lean. He's skinny, but muscular. But you get what I mean. And so, Deku is just holy heck, what's happening? What's happening? And and the electricity, he just points his finger and it just zaps one of the lights, and the light blows up, and a shard of glass goes into his cheek, and like he pulls it out. He's like, ah, that hurt, and like he was feeling the blood, and then it just goes back into his skin, and he's like, what the heck? And he like has a small scratch, and like there's a little bit of steam coming off of it, and like it just fully closed. And he's like, regeneration? Nani? And he just tells his mom, hey mom, I'm gonna go somewhere for a little bit. He says, I'm gonna go somewhere for a little bit. And he's like, and she's like, oh, okay, don't be out for too long. And so he goes to the beach to test out his abilities, and like he tries the electricity, and it just completely engulfs his arm, and he's like, okay. And like he just punches the trash with it, and the trash just turns into dust. Like, that's how strong it was. Like, he just barely touched it, though. Like, that was like one of his fingers. Just boom. Talk about exploded work. Also, here's my question. Why didn't anybody call Bakugo a terrorist when they were in middle school? Explain. But I digress. And so then Deku's just like, I wonder what else I can do with this electricity. And so like he spreads it to his feet, and like he tries running, and he runs at Mach 2 without trying. At like max power, he can run at about Mach 4. Yeah, 4. But if you want to be 5, then leave it down in the comments. And so, Deku just goes up to the trash, and like this guy is like, hey kid, what are you doing with that trash? Because like the guy was here to dump more trash at the beach, and like Deku just goes invisible, and the guy's like, huh, what? Is that his quirk to go invisible? And so Deku is just like, what the heck? Why can he not see me? And like he's waving his hand right in front of the guy's face, and like he flicks the dude with just the tiniest amount of electricity, and the guy goes flying, and he's like, dang, I didn't expect him to get hit that hard. And so then Deku tries to deactivate it, and he does. And then like the guy gets up, and he's like, hey you kid, come here. And like he reactivates it, and he's just like, this will be quite useful. And like the electricity that he has is like a mixture, like some of them are red and the others are yellow. And like one time, like he looked at like the trash, and like he held out his hand like how Spider-Man does, because he was just like, hey, what does Spider-Man do again? And like, because I'm going to say like Spider-Man is like the number 5 hero, and he just does it, and he's just like, what the heck? And he's just like, Oh my god. Oh my god. I just shot webs. Am I like Spider-Man? What is this? Am I his son? Am I a secret love child? Nani? What is this? And so he is just like freaking out, like, oh my god, am I like Spider-Man's son? Like, what's going on? Somebody tell me. And like, you know how like kids be freaking out over like the weirdest shit. And so Deku goes over to like, he tries swinging from building to building after that, and he does. And like, I'm going to say like Miriko like hops up, like when he's like in midair doing like tricks and flips and stuff. And like, she was just like, oh my god, this kid's going to get killed. And like, right, like, she touches him once, and like, he just like ultra instinct dodge and whip. And like, he's on his phone while he's doing this, and he just seems like, why is she bothering me? I'm trying to test out my power. Well, heck, not even. Hey, forget I said power. Bower. I'm trying to test out my Bower, lady. Leave me alone. Is just what he's thinking. And then like, he looks at her, and he's just like, oh my god, she's so cute. I feel aroused. And so then when Deku realizes, he just straight up because like, I'm going to say that Miriko was the 32nd ranked? Yeah, 32nd ranked hero. That in, like, well, she wasn't a hero, she was in UA, and she was the first here. And like, it was their last day of school, so like, Deku was swinging to get to school. And I'm just going to say, like, Deku has like the like Mosa suit with the red, but like minus the red fingers, and like how the undershirt has a spider on it. So he won't have those on there. So like, he has it on, he still has the jacket on and stuff, and like, he doesn't have the helmet on. And so he goes to help her and asks her if she's alright. And like, Deku is tall. Like, I'm going to say that Deku is 6'1", because I'm 5'7", and I'm 10. So you should be, yeah, if you're 13, you at least should be 6'1". If you're not, you have a birth defect. Sorry, please don't swing at me. Please. I'm starting up. Please. Technically, this is my first YouTube video, since the other one wouldn't upload. But, yeah. So, anyhow. He, like, swings her to the hospital. I'm going to say, like, the hospital is, like, a block away. And he realized, oh my god, I only have 5 minutes to get to class. And so, like, he pops open the window. And he's like, I'll see y'all later. Here's my number. If she is not alright, I'll pay for whatever. I have to go to school. And, like, he just swings off, like, as if he's been doing this for years. And, like, I'm going to say that Spider-Man, like, sees this, and he's just like, is that my son? And so, like, he swings up to him, because, like, he's in his, because he's in the, white 2099 Spider-Man outfit. If you know it, you know it. I'm not gonna bother putting up a picture. But, he's just like, hey, kid, what's your last name? And Deku's just like, well, Izuku's just like, Izuku Midoriya. And he's just like, holy heck, that's Spider-Man. He just swings over to the roof. Like, he just wall runs up the roof, and he's just like, hey, I got bit by this radioactive spider. Please help me out. My powers are really similar to yours. And he shows him the bioelectricity, and, like, Spider-Man is jealous. Like, he's jealous. And he's just like, huh? And he's like, that's not just a hit. And, like, he just goes invisible. And Spider-Man's like, what? Huh? I'm jealous. Like, he's just tripping out over how this kid has better powers than him. And so Deku, like, undoes it, and he's like, oh, wait, sorry, I have to go to class. And, Spider-Man's just like, oh, well, okay, meet me at, Katakure bar and grill. Or he'll just say, meet me at Katakure. Yeah, Katakure. Sorry, I was thinking of a place in Japan, and Katakure just popped in my head. I don't live in Japan. No, I live in Kansas City. What's poppin'? But, well, technically not Kansas City. I live in Raytown, Missouri, which can technically be classified as Kansas City, Missouri. It's weird, okay? I live in Kansas, or Missouri. One of the two. This is confusing. But, Deku goes to class, and, like, they see him swing in, because, like, I'm going to say, like, the door's open, and so he's just like, I hope I make it, and, like, he has perfect dodge and, like, he just shoot, like, you know how, like, Miles does, like, that one move, where, like, he has one web on one spot and the other web on one spot, and, like, he flings himself forward, and, like, he does, like, a roll in, like, not like a barrel roll, like Iron Man pose down. No, I mean, like, he spins in and, like, latches onto the wall like that, and, like, Deku, he just does that, and, like, everybody's just, like, amazed. They're like, huh? Are you sure you aren't Spider-Man? Because, like, they're just like, Spider-Man? And Deku's just like, no, it's me, Deku. And they're just like, what? No way. I don't trust that. You may look like him, but no way you're him. Like, they're just all tripping. And so Deku just goes, sits down, and, like, Bakugo is just like, ugh, why did the worthless nerd have to come in and steal my thunder? Basically being like Sasuke. Retarded, but somehow everybody loves him. Explain that. Like, explain. But, anyhow, Deku goes, and he just is just like asleep in class. Like, it looks like he's awake because like he sleeps with his eyes open. And like he nodded when the teacher asked him a yes or no question. And he got like the answer correct, and they were just, and like Bakugo could tell that this man was asleep, and he was just mad, like fuming. Get a fumigation tent. He's fuming, and he's like, "Hey, you dumbasses! Can you not tell that he's asleep?" And they're just all like, huh? And like Deku, like on accident, snores, and then just like wakes up. He's just like, huh? What? What'd you say? And they're just all like, hold up. He's been sleeping the entire time. And like, I'm going to say like, like the bell just rings as soon as they say that, and like nobody can say anything to him because like he just whibs onto the thing, like I said, fumes out, and he just swings home. And like that was the last day of school. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Deku still wants to be a hero and stuff. And so the sludge villain happens, and like the sludge villain is just like, hey, such a nice body you have. And like Deku's just like, huh? What you mean, you perv? Like, back up, freaking Orochimaru wannabe. Like, back up. I'm not interested in older people. And like Deku just goes right up to him and just zaps him with bioelectricity. Just and like All Might sees this. He's just like, who is this man, the living taser? And like the sludge villain is just there, and like I'm going to say like the sludge villain has like a human form until like he reverts back into his human form. And like All Might like forcibly like knocks him out because I'm going to say like he was up until like he turned back into his like sludge form, and then All Might just scooped him up and like punched the bottle. And like it knocked him out. But anywho, Deku's like, oh my god, you're All Might, can I get an autograph? And he's like, yeah, sure. And like All Might's also thinking, or no, he also says, hey kid, would you like to be my successor? Successor. Sorry. I had like one of those moments where your tongue doesn't work. Anywho, Deku just goes and says, yeah, sure, but what do you mean by that? And All Might explains one for all, and like he plucks out a hair and gives it to Deku, and Deku's like, huh? He's like, eat this, and Deku's just like, fine, and he just ate it, and like he starts experimenting with it, and he uses full cowling, and then he uses his electricity and covers it around his entire body, and he makes it look like armor. And I'm going to call this Flying Thunder God. Yeah, it's basically Flying Raijin, same name, but Flying Thunder God's armor is what I'm going to call it. And then All Might's just like, this kid is finding new ways to use one for all. And so Deku just automatically can already use about 65%. I'm going to say that 25% of his One For All was 75% of Prime All Might. And so Deku can already take on All Might and beat him perfectly fine. And Deku's like, hey, let's have a sparring match. And All Might absolutely gets bodied. Like, he uses Flying Thunder God's armor and just punches him really hard in the gut and just and like All Might's just foaming out of the mouth while when he got knocked out. Like, you know, and like it's that one thing that King Batch is in. I can't remember the name of it, but he's in it, and like he's roasting dudes, and he's like, oh, this ain't my real hair, because like he had some weird like I don't know what to call it, like toupee or whatever, and like he takes it off and he's like, that ain't my real hair, my real stuff is fresh. And just, if you know it, you know it. But anywho, like All Might's doing that. But I'm going to end the video off here. Have fun. This is going to take a while to upload.